Hi, my name is Therese Allen, aka T-zer, and I'm the CEO and the host of A Live Story. This is a company that was going to have its premiere dance experience here in Amsterdam, but since the COVID-19, we are now working online. I decided to start interviewing amazing dancers or people that has a dancing background that are now doing online projects or entrepreneurship or just have a great life story. So enjoy this first episode where you're gonna meet Sebastian from Be Fit And Sensual. Today we're going to talk about several things. He grew up outside Gothenburg in Sweden in a very, very small city. His mom is Swedish, his dad is Cambodian, and of course we're going to get into that a little bit more, how that was in his childhood. Sebastian, of course, found dancing, but he actually didn't start dancing until he was 17 years old. Became a part of the hip-hop community in Gothenburg and then later moved on to join and live with his crew Left Sound in Oslo, Norway. After taking an education in sports science, personal training, Sebastian decided to create his own company because he saw that dancers were lacking personal training, but also dance-specific training. For 7 years now, he's been running this company, and we are gonna ask all about it today. So hit the like, comment what you think, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So, welcome to the live. Sebastian Carlos Kruse from Be Fit And Sensual. How are you doing today?
I'm doing perfect. We are on day 45, probably. Something like that inside of Spanish quarantine. But we're staying happy.
You've been really active lately. I see videos, live webinars, but you're really keeping yourself busy during these times.
Yeah. I legit train more than ever and definitely work more than ever.
It's crazy. We're going to get into what you're doing right now, but for the people that don't know you as well as I do, I just really want to get into your backstory. So why I really want to do this interview with you is basically because a lot of people know you as a coach, as a dancer, as a model, as an entrepreneur, but we want to dig deep into how it all happened and where you come from and kind of your journey to it. So I hope it's okay with you that we start from the beginning. And
Please.
I just wonder if you can tell me a little bit about how it was for you growing up in west coast of Sweden.
My story is a simple story. I'm born and raised in Gothenburg, Sweden. I'm raised outside of Gothenburg, so I'm not really from the center. And from a place called Mölnlycke. Was an active kid, played a lot of sports, did taekwondo for about 7 years, which was like my main thing back in the days. Still is. I love martial arts. It was definitely my first like active love. Like I played soccer and floorball, but taekwondo was definitely like my first big love. After that, I started doing dancing when I was around 17. Now I'm 29 today, or I'm turning 29, and That's pretty much like that's the quick story. That's the quick story. My dad is from Cape Verde. My mom is Swedish, so I always got like both sides of the fences, which was definitely a blessing. Now looking back in hindsight, I was struggling with it more when I was a kid, like feeling insecure, because I was too light for the black kids and too black for the white kids. I was somewhere in the middle. But now looking back at it, like it gave me so much. It gave me such an advantage.
And if we want to dig a little bit deeper into, for people that don't know Mölnlycke, you kind of have to have been there to know it's a very tiny city. And
yeah, when I lived there, it was 15,000 people.
yeah,
15,000. It's like 20 minutes outside of Gothenburg with car.
and did you experience it was a lot of culture or
Oh yeah,
music and stuff
yeah, yeah,
around
yeah,
you?
yeah. So I was definitely the N word in our community. Definitely, I was the only guy for sure. And unfortunately, it was a lot of racism, but also like on the extreme. We had neo Nazis in that community, like real neo Nazis, and yeah,
Yeah.
being the only colored guy, you are the guy in that case, which was always fascinating for me because I was always proud of being from Cabo. So I was always proud being colored. But then when I came out from that community and I started meeting people that were from Congo and Senegal and more like that, then all of a sudden I was white. So it was like, wait, what? Like, what is happening right now? So yeah, I have some crazy stories from that time.
And how did you deal with that? Like, I know you listen a lot to music from a lot of different countries. Was that like a way for you to kind of
A hundred
deal
percent, a
with the
hundred percent,
situation?
100%. I found a lot of mentors inside of music. Like Bob Marley was big for me. Malcolm X was also big for me. So I was reading. I was not reading. I was studying. I say I was never like a book guy until I got like 21. That's when I really started embracing books. But I was always studying and searching and listening to like interviews and stuff like that. So definitely Bob Marley, definitely Malcolm X. My uncle and dad were two big influences at that time also. Um, and just reggae dancehall in general. Like I was really early with it. I was really early with it. Been listening and I like always felt part of that culture since I would say like 12, 11. When my uncle my uncle used to live in London, and I found that CD like a couple of days ago actually here, a DVD from like Weddy Wednesday where they are just walking around filming. And I'm like 12 seeing this. I'm like, Jesus, like what is this? Is it? Like this is it? So reggae dance
Really?
reggae dance was a saving savior for me, definitely.
Yeah. And I mean, you told us that you started to dance when you were 17. Was that because dance wasn't really around you when you grew up, or was it just something you discovered later?
The dance was definitely around because my mom's a dancer. My mom was used to live in Chicago actually, and was there practicing jazz and everything. And she always took me to dance events because my mom's a teacher, so she had students who were dancing, and she always took me to dance events and to see like bounce, for example. So I've seen like all of the bounce shows before I was dancer myself. But it wasn't my thing. Like I wanted to fight. Like that was my mission. Like I was that guy. I wanted to be a professional fighter. And then how I started with dancing was that I started dating a girl that was dancing, and my one of my closest friend who lived in Mölnlycke also at that time, he's like, yo, we just started dancing. Like, it's the same school as the girl you like is dancing to. And you just gotta come, and like, the teacher is so hot, bro. You just gotta come. I'm like, alright, let's get it. Like, I don't need more. Like, I found my step in. So I took that step. And yeah, that teacher was Nina from Twisted Feet.
Shout out to Nina.
Yeah, enough respect. And since then, I didn't look back.
No. And you started off like dancing in classes and stuff. And did you very early begin to join crews and competitions, or how did
Yeah,
that?
we had so at my first class I met a guy called Brian Puji, and he and I just clicked straight away. and then from there we started our own crew. We were lefties, with three other people. And then after that, I moved to Australia. Life happened. Like, I wanted to travel, I wanted to go on adventures, so I moved to Australia when I was 19. I stayed for like 6 months, and then when I came back, Brian had already moved away together with a friend of ours called Appy also, and they had merged the crew now, so we were Left Sound all of a sudden. So we had the crew called Lefties, who merged with the crew called Four Sound. So we merged and became Left Sound, and then we moved to Oslo, and so yeah, I would say it was pretty early, like pretty straight away, like straight into crews. Like I'm always big on community. Like I was always big on community, and just because of Twisted Feet also, like Sarion, Nina, Tony, Denny, they were always like pushing lefties to be a crew. Like, do this, you guys, you 4 or 5 people here, individuals, should go and do this. So we had that mentorship just from the beginning.
And when you decided to move to Oslo, was that because you were like, okay, this is now something I can make a living of, or was it I just want to be with my crew and create stuff? Or what was kind of the initial thought with that move?
That's a good question. So I moved to Australia, which was like the first big jump I did. And I felt I was pretty done with dancing. Like, most people don't know, but like I said to my friends 3 times, I said out loud 3 times, like, I'm done. Like, I quit dancing now. I'm done. I'm gonna find a normal job. Like, there is no money inside of dancing. I'm out. Like, yeah, I'm gonna dance for fun, but that's it. I said that three or even 4 times, I think. Like, this is my retirement. So I moved to Oslo just because I wanted to be with my crew, to be honest with you. Like, we when we merged with Left Sound, we merged with, like, they were 2 of my biggest idols at the time, which was two of my brothers at the moment, called Keski and Stu, or at the moment for life. And they were like our idols, me and Brian, definitely. So it's like, wow, like we are a crew with them. Like, no way, we gotta bounce. So I came home from Australia to be with Brian and Appy, and just like more or less like the same months, they were like, we out, we're moving to Oslo. And I didn't have any money, anything, so I'm like, wait, what? Like, I'm gonna stay home in Sweden? What's happening here? So they moved, and then because I came back for dancing, then it was a no-brainer. It's like, okay, let me get this. Let's do this. Let's see where we can go.
And I mean, I've heard a lot of crazy story about Left Sound living together. But
classics.
Can you just describe a little bit for the people who don't know? You actually lived, all of you, together.
Yeah. We did. It was Keski and Stu and Lee who did this master move. They're like, okay, let's rent a house. So we rented a house like 40 minutes with train or with metro outside of Oslo city. And we were between 8 to 12 people living in there. Everybody was DJing. Everybody, that's how I know how to DJ. Like, know how to DJ. I knew how to DJ. Like, I used to DJ at cafe shops and like nightclubs, but I haven't done it in a long time. And then I was only DJing dancehall reggae at that time. Also, just letting everybody know.
Yeah.
But so yeah, we were 12 people, like, at one point, living all together, DJing, dancing, making beats, just being pure entrepreneur, like just pure hip hop. Like, I really lived hip hop. Sugar Pop came when he came to Oslo. He stayed at he slept in my bed. I slept at the sofa. Like, Marjorie came to our home. Link came to our home. Khalif came to our home. Capella, Grishka.
All the hip hop legends,
yeah,
basically.
Damon Frost been there. Like, they were there in our kitchen, like, doing life. D like D even lived with us for a while. D Killa from
Paris.
From Paris.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
And like, that must have been, first of all, super intense, super creative. But what was like some of the biggest learning moments? Not only living with that amount of people, but living with creative souls for like years.
I think one of the biggest learning moments was that I learned to trust on us, like on me. Like I really learned to trust on me at that time, because we were only immigrants. Like we were Swedish and French and Estonian in our crew. So nobody was Norwegian. So we came on like a zero. Like nobody had knew anybody. Like nobody had like contacts in the town. So whatever we wanted to do, we found our own way, I'd say. Then of course the way was already laid out because it was a hip hop scene there already. But when we wanted to DJ at clubs, we had to find a solution there ourselves. When we wanted to host parties at other clubs, we had to find that solution. Rent a house, we had to find that solution. So I think that is like one of the most learning experience. And I went through some really dark years at that time, 2014, 15. I went through some dark years, which is mental health. Like I was dealing a lot with depression and anxiety. And yeah, those were definitely my biggest learning moments, and also synergy, to be honest with you. Like just the power of living with people and not believing that you, that's why I'm saying it's like even if we did our own thing and didn't have any backing, I still really recognized as like there is a saying that's called, if I'm great it's because I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. So I really see that, like if it wasn't for Hyng, who had Circle Dance Academy, if it wasn't for like Camilla and Subs Dance and all of them, Sarion and Nina and Twisted Fit from back in days, it's like I would never be able to be where I am today. And that is like the biggest thing, I'd say, definitely.
Yeah, so basically you not only went through maybe some of your most intense and best years when it came to like meeting people, dancing with people, listening to music all the time, but also super intense. And yeah, it's just interesting for me to know that like you went through some of your best years and maybe also some of the hardest years that kind of involved you into what you're doing today.
100%, 100%. Like definitely. If I didn't go through those years, I wouldn't do what I'm doing today. Like I wouldn't speak with the confidence I'm speaking, for sure.
And so you had your issues with depression and anxiety and stuff. And what made you come out of it? What did you do in terms of life changing things that made you move forward?
Training, definitely, no hesitation. Like I started training, I started eating better, I started drinking water, and go to sleep earlier, taking care of my diet. Because people think that diet is just nutrition, but diet is everything. It's like what you everything that you consciously or unconsciously take in, like what you're listening to, what you're reading, your surroundings, water, nutrition, as in food, sleeping, breathing. Like I was smoking cigarettes, I stopped smoking cigarettes. I started drinking more water, like I said. I started tracking my food better. I started training. I started reading more. Like I didn't read a book until I was 21. Like I could count on a hand how many books I read before I was 21. And now I read. I consume at least a book a week. At least a book a week, on a bad week, because I listen to a lot of books also. So yeah, definitely. I always say that I ran away from anxiety because I started running. Like that was my thing. So I started running, then I started weightlifting, and it definitely wasn't okay. I just started going to the gym and everything becomes easier. Like I could go to the gym, then 5 minutes of work, boom, I'm getting an anxiety attack. I had to call my friends. They had to call and pick me up. And I'm back the day after. Like I try again. I could do 6 minutes. Then I had to sit down. Just anxiety, like cold sweating. Go back home. Go to the gym the day after again. A little bit better. Go back home. Panic anxiety at home instead. So it was just step by step, like it's continuous work on trying to get better, really, or not even trying, like being better step by step, actively, but trying to find a solution. That's like searching for a solution. It's like, what is happening here? I don't like the word trying, because trying is a hobby, because like I always say that trying is a hobby, because I wasn't trying to find something. Like I was actively searching for something. I was actually actively searching for a way out of that dark space that I found myself in. And yeah, like just through mentors and training was definitely my biggest things.
And I can imagine that that in this process of trying to like move forward, starting the training, but always being able to call you friends. But I know that at some point of time you moved away from the collective, from the house. Was that then like a major scary part that you couldn't always have people around you, or was that actually a better way of living?
I mean, it was better for me at that time. It was what I needed. It wasn't better. It wasn't better that like, because if something is better, it means that something was worse before. Or like, no, if something was better, it doesn't mean that it was worse. It was just different, and I needed different at that time. I needed a place to be alone and just trying to establish myself. But I mean, once I moved out, and I say this because once I moved out, it wasn't better. Like I was dark. It was darker. Like it was even darker. Uh, but at some point, it was needed. It was needed. That's one of my biggest
To be
things.
able to conquer it on your own and kind of get the control of the situation.
Yeah, and you need to at some point you got to be able to take that leap of faith also. And we had been living together for 3 years, 4 years even, I think, at that time. So it was really a point of like, okay, I need my own space. Like I got to be able to see what is going on here.
And after how long of amount of time did you decide to go from only training and working out on your own to actually take an education? Because that is a big step for a guy that has never read a book.
Yeah.
Whole education.
Yeah, for sure. And especially studying in Norwegian. Like people think that Swedish and Norwegian is the same, but it's not. Like if it's twice more if you're reading like literature, like classic or like training literature. It's so different. It's so different. So yeah. So when I moved out, I moved in with a guy called Robin, and Robin is a professional fighter, and he was really pushing me because I was always training. Like I was always up early at that time because I was alone. I could go to bed easier. Like I went to bed whenever I wanted, or like I could always go to bed whenever I wanted. But if you're in a home where the culture is that everybody is up late, you become part of that culture. So when you're alone, you really have the moment to establish your own culture. And so I started to go to sleep earlier, train hard, and he always saw it. And he is a personal trainer, so he always told me, he's like, bro, like you're perfect for it. You're perfect for it. You gotta try it. You gotta try it. And then one day he got a new job, and he told me, it's like, listen, I know they need trainers, and I know you don't get the certificate yet, but you should come and start training there a little bit and just, talk to the manager and la la la. So I was the first guy there to train. So I was like practice training there, and I gave some feedback to the guy or to the one of the bosses or the gym manager, and then I told him, I'm like, yeah, like I'm this guy, like I'm modeling, I'm a professional dancer. I done the biggest shows in Norway at that time, and yeah, I'm considering going to school. Like, which school did you go to? Blah blah blah. And then I talked my way into it. And so from there I started studying at the Norwegian School of Sports Science and la 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 la. And yeah, I saw an opening. Like I really saw an opening inside of there, so to say.
And when you started, you of course had normal clients, so to speak, like maybe not
for sure.
like
The first 4 years.
Yeah. So what happened? What shift happened when you decided to actually like, oh, it would be cool to train dancers, particularly dancers?
So I lived together with a girl called Judith, and she's my ex-girlfriend. And I have so much love and respect for that woman that it's incredible, or that it's crazy. Without her, I would never be where I am today, 100%. I would be training people, but not at the level I am today. 100% no. So she moved to 2015 to Norway, and so we moved in together. And she's the founder and creator of Be Fit And Sensual, together with her partner Korke. And yeah, so I start traveling with them. I start teaching body isolation and just waves, which has always been like my obsession in dancing. And from there, I went to a fitness camp with my little sister, because my little sister is also very into fitness. And then I came back home, and with Judith, I was always traveling to dance festivals. And then I just saw that link. I'm like, wait, what is happening here? So I have a girlfriend that is doing all of these crazy tricks, but doing no physical training. And I meet the highest level of Latin dance, because I started meeting like the highest level straight away of Latin dance, like salsa, bachata, zouk, kizomba. They straight away became my friends because of her, because they were her friends. And for me, it was like, ah, cool. And I was dancing like I'm the time like 6 years on dancing professionally, so like I know how to dance. And I'm like, okay, what is happening here? Like, how can it be so much specific sports training for other sports and nothing for dancing? Like 0 for dancing. Or it was for ballet. Like, you can find a lot of studies for ballet, but it was just nothing that I could relate to. And I didn't find anything. There is probably somebody out there who's been doing specific training for hip hop and bachata before me, but I didn't find this guy. He wasn't visible for me. So then I just said to Judith, I'm like, yo, listen, like I want to do this, like I want to specify on dancings, like let's try with you. And I started trying with her, and then we did Be Fit And Sensual, which is our dance festival. Or before that, I also found Marcio Ratinho is a huge part of this, because Marcio at that time had stopped dancing professionally, or he was still dancing professionally, but not like at the highest level that he could, just because of knee injuries and just personal things going on in his life. And he had moved like just down my street, like 2 bus stops away from where I live, and I was there every Wednesday. Like I was there every Wednesday, every Wednesday. It's just, I finished my job, I went straight to Marcio's spot, just hanged out, relaxed, and I was always like, yo, you should come and train with me. He's like, yeah, but bro, I do push-ups at home, la la la. I'm like, ah, perfect, bro, but you should come and train with me. And then one day I just had a conversation with him. I'm like, how come you're not doing it at that level? He's like, no, but blah blah blah. I'm like, do you think these people are better than you? He's like, nah. And then like, well, yeah, what's going on, bro? If they're not better than you, why are you not practicing? What's happening here? And then I started going to his place and train him. So we started training in his kitchen. Then we started going to the gym where I started to work, where I was working now. Because of Robin, that gym I went to the first time, I got hired there later. And that was just because I went to that gym and started talking and having conversations with people. Just because of that, I got hired. And that's also that place also helped me to buy the apartment I now own in Oslo. And I took Marcio there, and we started training together. Marcio really trusted me. And I really needed that. Like, I really needed a professional that really wanted to go all in. And he really needed a trainer. So it was just that perfect balance. It was just that perfect synergy. So that's definitely a huge thing. And at the same time, we did Be Fit And Sensual. So it was just so much happening at the same time here. So it's hard for me to navigate. But at the same time this is happening, we're also doing Be Fit And Sensual, which is the world's first festival who is focusing equally as much on physical training as dancing. So we had a lineup of dancers, professionals, teachers, a 3-day event. And then like Pilates for dancers, yoga for dancers, dance-specific training, which is my specialty. Like acrobatics for dancers, like whatever for dancers, flexibility boot camps and everything. So that happened in 2017. And
and
yeah,
just
like everything at the same time.
no, but I need to also jump in here because I think that a lot of people don't understand how little knowledge dancers have of physical training, and how many dance festivals that does not have one single class of physical training on their schedule. So, I mean, as myself also being in the couple dancing scene, I've never seen a class that had anything to do to strengthen our bodies.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't exist, and if it didn't exist at all before we did it. Like there is, of course, like when I say we are the first, there is 100%. There is somebody out there who is a dancer who has been doing this for himself, teaching a little classes, but there was nothing on the level and scale that we did it. 100%.
And also. There's so many different variations, because you're talking about Judith, who is a professional couple dancer, is doing air tricks and all of that, and then you're talking about Marcio, who is not an underground battler anymore, but really into the hip hop culture, and doing a completely different style. Were you ever nervous about, okay, I'm going in here as like dance specific training, but am I gonna be able to coach dancers whatever style? Was that ever occurring to you?
Really not, to be honest with you. Really not, to be honest with you. Because we get great results straight away. And it's important to remember that I studied at the Norwegian School of Sports Science. I didn't study at some 4 weeks in Bali type of personal trainers. I didn't. I studied at a respected school. So I had real scientific backings behind it. And one thing that we are doing, and that I was really fascinated about, which is movement analyzation. So if movement is movement, and then if you do that sport specific, then you get science to back it up over here. And that was the thing that I saw, and that I knew that I could back up with science. But so if you're telling me that you can do this for martial arts, and that gives you that results, why you tell me, why couldn't I do it over here with dancing? Like for me, it was so clear. And I was training regular people at the same time. So I had that plus professional dancers, and it worked on both. So at that moment, it was a no-brainer. Then, because again, training dancers never made me nervous. Hosting an event to train dancers where 380 people come, that made me think about the life for a second. For sure.
Yeah,
for sure. But the physical training was the 100%. That's what I know.
Part. Yeah, because that is also, I mean, you have been doing a lot these latest years, so also just trying to branch it out. So not only did you train people at the gym in Norway, Oslo, dancers and non-dancers, you also set it up the first Be Fit And Sensual camp in Spain. Then you also did a very interesting investment in a certain camera that I also want you to mention.
It's here somewhere. I don't see it at the moment, but it's here somewhere.
But please just describe why you invested in a camera and kind of what that led into. Because you did not only just being active on your own events, you happened to start being active in a lot of events. You just describe what happened there.
So I was in a situation with Judith at that time where we were traveling a little bit. I got invited to some festivals, and I was teaching body isolation, which I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed that. But I saw also, man, how much time we have? How much time? This is a good story.
Yeah, I like good stories. That's what we're here for. So bring it out.
Okay. So there's two things happening at the same time here. So I'm traveling with Judith. I'm teaching body isolation a little bit, not a lot, but I get great feedback from people. I'm working at Lifestyle, which is the gym, and I get great feedback from people. Now, we get thrown out from that first apartment, not because of us. Make no mistake. But for the person who was in charge of paying our rent, so we lived in like a collective. So it was me, Judith, and 4 or 5 others, and that's straight after Left Sound. So I get thrown out from that spot. We find a new place. Stupid as I am, we panic because we don't have any place to go. So I put in a deposit of 3,000 euro, which is like 30,000 Swedish, and without signing a contract. I move into that spot. I have another 1,000 euros cash because I'm working as a waiter at the same time, and they rob us. So they take our money. They take 1,000 from me. They take like an additional 1,000 or something, or 2,000 from you. I don't remember the exact number, and I don't get my deposit back. Craziness happen. We go to the police. Nothing happens because they have a AS company, or they have AB. What's that? What's AB in? They have basically they have a registered company. They have a registered company, so they just close down the company. So then I have 2 choices: or I can go after the persons as individuals, as a gangster, or I let it go. Because I'm traveling and doing all this crazy stuff at that time, I'm letting it go. Things happening. I am at life happens. I leave it. I continue going with my regular life. We find another apartment to live, me and Judith. Life is getting better. I'm working at Lifestyle. Then one day I'm telling my best friend, like I'm telling Robin, the Thai boxer, I'm telling him on the way to work because we're gonna have a meeting. We have like a staff meeting, and I tell Robin, I'm like, yo, bro, listen, like I'm so far away from, like I'm so mentally away from that spot. Those people who stole money from us. I wouldn't even worry. I wouldn't even need to get that 4,000 euros back. And I say 4,000 euro, like I don't even need 4,000 euro in my pocket right now. I say that exact number, and at that time, I bought a little camera. I was in New York with Kork and Judith, and I was training and I was teaching and having shows there, and I did like a movie trailer just for fun, with a small little camera. So I was just documenting everything, and then I gave it to the organizer of the events. Should I go in the other room? Can you hear a lot of noise here? No? Okay, perfect. So I went to so I did the trailer, and I got great feedback on it. I'm so easy convinced in my own skills. So I got great feedback on it. I'm like, wow, perfect. I'm gonna train. I'm gonna do videos at the same time. And I'm gonna teach dancing. Perfect package. I can do it. I can travel with my girlfriend. Amazing. So I was starting looking into small cameras and everything. On my way to work, I tell Robin, I don't even need $4,000 or 4,000 euro right now. I come to work, and they tell me, Sebastian, we're sorry, you get laid off. Like you're getting laid off from work. It's not working. Yeah, you're gonna have to go down in time, because I was 40% hired. So I'm like, fuck, like this is I gotta find a solution here. Okay, like I started writing up, like taking notes. They're like, psst, we're just fucking with you. Psyched. Here, take 4,000 euro as a bonus. So I'm like, wait, what? So I get a bonus at that time from nowhere, because the company has been doing so well. So they gave the employees us a bonus. So I'm like, I get 4,000 euros as a bonus. So I'm like, whoa, what is happening? So I just went straight away, because I've been looking at cameras at that time. I took all of those 4,000 and invested all of it, 4,500 into the same camera I have today. One camera, one microphone, 2 lenses, one or 2 lenses at the time, and that made me being able to go all in as a videographer, because I figured if I was a videographer, then I could do the videos, I could start teaching more, and I could start reaching a lot more people with dance-specific training and isolation and Be Fit And Sensual. So that was definitely the biggest investment I've done. Like it changed everything, and it was just because I did that, took that leap of faith. So call it universe, call it God, call it whatever you want. Something was listening to me for sure. That was not a coincidence, and I just I took it as a sign because I knew what I said 4,000. That's the exact number that came to my pocket the day after. That's the exact number the camera cost. So I just went to because I had like different tiers. 4,000 was the most expensive. I went to the most expensive one. I had never doing any type of videography professionally. I had zero education, but I knew that if I had the camera, I could travel more, make more videos with my friends, and just spread this message that I had.
Mm. So here you are now, again, not only training people in real life back home in Norway, you're also having an event. Plus, you're now traveling almost every weekend.
Every weekend.
to different
Everywhere.
festivals, filming and teaching body isolation and doing shows. And now, just looking back, when did the change then happen for you to actually start coaching people, both offline and in real life, but not in Norway? Because now you're starting to have a worldwide community knowing about dance-specific training.
So 2017, we had the first Be Fit and Sensual, and I think I traveled to like not a lot that year, maybe 10 countries or something like that. It wasn't like, which is amazing. Like, don't get me wrong, which is crazy. So we did like 10 spots or something like that because we had a tour at that time also. So we did a world tour. But 2018 was the year I'm like, okay, this is a thing now. Now this is the thing. So 2018, I traveled to 38 countries. Or to 38 weekends. 38 weekends in a row, like back to back to back to back to back to back to back. And that, yeah, it's incredible. Like it's such a blessing, and that's why I always say, like, I'm not Be Fit and Sensual. Be Fit and Sensual is not me. It's the people. Like, this is by dancers for dancers, which has been the slogan since day one. And it's the truth. It's the truth. Like it's not. I do dance specific training. Be Fit and Sensual is the name of this community movement that we have. So in 2018, I'd say was the year I'm like, okay, this is it's a real thing. Yeah, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. Because I always feel that you can do everything once, but if you can pull it off 2 years in a row, like with the festival, for example, then it's like, first time it could be luck. Second time it's okay. Now it's a thing.
And then you started to record yourself doing workouts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I started giving out a workout a day for the first 200 days. So I did one workout every day for 200 days straight on my Instagram. Didn't grow any big following. I still don't have any big following. Just one video a day, always. And then I didn't start doing online before I moved to Barcelona, where I'm based right now. So before Barcelona, I was only doing I was only based in Lifestyle, the gym in Oslo. And I moved here 2019. And so yeah, like 2019 April 2019 was the first time we did the online challenge.
1 year ago.
Yeah, a year ago. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's exactly a year ago, actually. It's exactly a year ago. That's funny. That's interesting.
And then you started this challenge, which I remember very well because I was also a part of it. And can you describe
so we did one? Yeah, so we did. I wanted to reach more people. Like, I always wanted to reach more people because I knew what I was teaching is good. Like, I was so confident in my teaching. Like, I was so confident in my skills of teaching and projecting this to dancers. Like, I understood how important it was. And that's the mission. The mission is not me. The mission is not fame. The mission is to change the way dancers are behaving with dancing and training. Like, I wanted to be the link between dancing and training. That's the link I wanted to be, that I always wanted to be. Never fame. Fame was never on the table. Because if I wanted fame, I would keep on dancing and I would keep on modeling, because that's fame. But that's not what I was interested in. So we did one workout. So I had I had a mentor. I invested in my first. I bought a mentorship. That was the first time I actually bought a mentorship. Or here's the story. I went to London in February for a mentor, for an online trainer summit was the name of it. So I went there, I met my mentor for the first time, and I paid for his program. Super expensive, but I paid for it. And then I went, but I got, even if it was super expensive, the return on investment was ridiculous. It just has been ridiculous, life changing again. So I went to there, come back February, March, April. I run the challenge, the full month of April. It's a free challenge. Thousand people sign up. So we had thousands dances on my first challenge, and then again it's like, okay, now it's not, now's the next step. The next step is now online. And then I just started navigating online, and then it was we did one workout every day for 30 days, and I did it with everybody. So I wake up early in the morning, did a workout, recorded a workout, posted a workout, and then same thing. And I was still traveling at that time. That's what most people don't know. Like, I was in Asia, New York, Europe, and like I think I traveled 4 or 5 trips at that time, like during those 30 days, and I was still just doing one by one, because I wanted to prove to dancers, because one of the things that I heard a lot was like, I don't have time to train because I'm constantly dancing. And I'm like, okay, cool, let me show you that if I can do it, anybody can do it.
This is when your famous hotel room workouts became a part of it.
Yeah, exactly. And I always wanted to, like, a lot of people, I think a lot of people think that I like to brag a lot. But I always say, like, if I can do it, I don't really see why you couldn't do it. Like, it's not
like it's easy for you to do it anyway. So
it's easy. It's as hard for me as it is for anybody. It's equally as hard it is for me like it is for anybody. I did 2 knee surgeries in 2019, 2020. It's like I had 14 months between my knee surgery, and I sprained my ankle, but I still kept on training. Like, you never seen me lose anything here. So, and it's not to put myself up, it's to show people, like, look, if I can do it, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm nowhere different. Like, I'm a guy right there. I went to the same dance school as you went to, or a similar one. I was terrible in school. I don't have any good education. I did all of this shit. Here's my story. Like, how can that be bragging? Like, I want to show to you that you can do it also.
And also, because you had the injuries, that also most likely came from training not at all as much as you should have, or training completely wrong by doing a very hard style, because isolation is very hard on your joints. And I think that is also personally something that I believe motivates a lot of people. Like, if you would have had this type of training provided to you that Be Fit And Sensual does, you wouldn't have maybe ended up with knee injuries later on in your dance career. And I think that also, that is for the people that haven't seen your videos yet, but I'm sure they will after this interview. I think that is also one of your strengths, is that you are relatable. It's not like we're looking at you and seeing that you can do it effortless without no sweat and no pain or whatever, but you actually feel. There's sometimes where I've been screaming back at the TV, like, come on, you can do one more. And you're screaming back at me. And I think that is just the kind of the relatable factor, that you are a human. You're not a Terminator. We're not watching somebody who we can never be or achieve, So you started with the online videos. You did your first challenge in April. You had 1,000 signups. How have the last year then been for you?
Crazy. Last year has been incredible. I love it. So last year was only me doing it. So I obviously moved down to Spain because of my girl at the time, Judith. We separated, still great friends, still everything. I keep living here alone. She moved outside of the city. I made a call to my best friend, who's been my best friend since I was 12. And I'm like, yo, listen, I have an online company. and it's going quite well, but I need another guy. Like, I need to find an assistant, or you move down here. So then he moved down. So that's my first employee, or my first team member. I don't like the word employee, really, to be honest. So my first team member, and now we have three others. We just get a new one this week. We're doing this full time. I'm only working online. I'm not traveling as much anymore because of my own choice. We were, before this whole Corona situation happened, we had booked another world tour that we were going on together with the company, and we are running a new challenge now. We just ran Dances Against Corona, which was another 30-day challenge. This time 600 people signed up, and I'm teaching dance specific training fully. It's a blessing. It's an absolute blessing. Like, I love everything about it. I love everything about this entire journey. But make no mistake, I average 12 to 16 hour work days every day of the week. It's just, I just want everybody to understand who might be listening to this saying that, like, wow, that sounds so glamorous to travel the world every weekend. Okay, so you're traveling the world. I just want everybody to understand a day-to-day schedule before I got here. And now it's even more hectic. So I was working at the gym Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. 10 clients every day. And I was dancing and training my own training in between here. Friday, I go to an airport. I travel somewhere. Let's say it's China or wherever. I land Friday or Saturday. Well, I land Thursday or Friday. I traveled. So I land Friday. I'm there Friday. I record the whole day. I do video recording the whole day. I do party at night. I teach Saturday. I do video recording whole day. Party all night, because that's part of everything. It's not party, it's social dancing. I do the same thing on Sunday. Monday I'm back in Europe, and I'll go to work that same night. And just do that back to back to back to back to back to back. So it's super intense. It's super, super intense. So yeah, now we're here. Like, I travel less. I'm very grateful for it. I love traveling, make no mistake about it. But yeah, like, I can't talk enough how happy I am doing what I do. Like, I look over here. I see my best friend is sitting over there working on the vision we had since we were 10 or like 11. We talked about this since we were 11, and teaching some of the world's best dancers in strength and conditioning, doing it online, and at the same time giving back to our community, not only focusing on the famous dancers, but also like the person who is right there, who just loves to dance.
And yeah, so can you also like describe a little bit, what kind of clients and participants do you have? Is it
everyone?
Yeah, because I think that is also a lot of people maybe misunderstanding that you have to be a certain type of dancer or a certain type of age to be able to join your programs.
No, we have everyone here. We train everyone. We literally train everyone, from a full-time dancer who is, take Alemana for example, La Alemana, who is the world's leader inside of bachata, or we have Stacy, who is 2 kids mom, who has a 9 to 5, but just loves social dancing. So we do everything in between, focusing on dancers. But I'm not saying dance as in like the professional dancers only. It's you're a dancer, like, you like dancing, right? Like, I see you out dancing social dancing. That's where we are focusing.
And you're also connecting a lot of other type of professionals into this movement, teaching about other things.
It's not me. This is not just me. I'm the guy who points at it. I'm the guy who points at it, saying like, look, how can I be am I the only one seeing this? Am I the only one seeing it? So right now we have two, we're collaborating, or it's not collaborating, they're in our team, two doctors. One who is a medical doctor, one who is a physiotherapist doctor, has a PhD in physiotherapy. We have a nutritionist who we're working close with, and we have another guy who is doing also the training, but in Spanish. And we just started doing the mental discipline, mental health program that we're doing. It's mental discipline is the name of it. It's a 4-week program. Because losing weight in 30 days, that's the easiest thing ever. If you watch sitting home right now watching, thinking it's like, how can he say that? I've been trying for so long and it doesn't work. Like I tried everything. I know I hear what you're saying, and the problem is that you, just because you have tried everything, is probably the reason nothing worked for you. But please jump on a call with one of me and my team, and I would love to point you in the right direction. So losing weight is the easy part. Fixing this thing right here, that's the hard part. So that's where I'm putting my focus in right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're not actually only offering a new challenge coming up, which we're going to talk about in a minute, but also you're focusing on the mental discipline now. And I think that is also very interesting because, again, we're seeing this guy moving from battle scene into crew, being connected to a lot of hip hop legends, going into modeling, going into physical training, and now you can actually help and coach other dancers in several styles. And I think that is just like something to take a, zoom out a little bit and see that journey for what it is, because it has such a genuine journey behind it. And I mean, now soon we're going to talk about the new things that you're launching. But what is the vision for the company? Like, really, where do you want to go with this? Because you have hundreds of people signing up, especially in Corona times. People now have to work out from home. People kind of have to start getting that discipline on their own when they can't go to dance classes and have people shouting at them or going to social dancing. So it's definitely a special time right now. But what is your company's focus? Where is you and your team heading?
Our thing is giving back. Our whole company is based on giving back to our community. Give me 2 seconds before I answer that question, because I see my computer is about to die and I don't want to say something and then my computer die. Wait.
No worries at all.
Wait, hold it.
It's also feeling incredible to be in the same living room as you're doing all of those workouts in.
I do everything in this living room. This is my home office. This is my home gym. It's my bookshelf. It's where I host the webinars. Oh.
And you don't got any TV anymore, or did you replace them with books?
No, like the TV was never mine. It was Judith's, actually. I haven't had a TV in 10 years now, actually. It's my 10th year without the television.
And I think that is as a shock as whoever is watching a lot of Netflix, especially during these times. It's like TV is very essential.
Yeah, but then again, if that's if you want to go there, if that's where you want to be, then watch TV. Be my guest. Me personally, I have very big dreams. So unless it aids my movie ending, I won't do it. I call my big vision my movie ending. And the question you asked was, what is the next? Where are we heading with this company? We are heading to the movie ending, to Zion. we want to. I said change, but I don't think change is the way I look at it anymore. I always say, like, we want to change dancing in the sense of how people are watching dancers and how we as dancers are watching ourselves. And I don't think change is the correct term anymore, because when 1,000 people sign up to a challenge, then that means over 1,000 people are actively doing this. So right now it's just aiding. Now it's just giving back, giving back, giving back. We always said that we had a number. We said that we wanted to change the lives of 10 million dancers. So like the elevator pitch, or the it's not elevator pitch. It's like the company vision. Yeah, the core values, the company vision is to change the lives of 10 million people with dancing, nutrition, training, and mental discipline. Those are the 4 things we're a company on. So 10 million people are the goal.
And for that, you're gonna need a lot more team members, probably.
Yeah, for sure. So if anybody's watching this and you're thinking, wow, I am a personal trainer, or I do yoga and I'm also a dancer, link up. Link up. Don't be scared. There's no fame here. There's no fame here. If I can't answer, some of my team gonna answer you. And yeah, let's get on a call, please.
And this is it. I think that we've covered a whole lot of your story and where you are today, and I think that there's like 2 parallel tracks here. We have the entrepreneurial track, the jump from going from maybe being a dancer or being whoever that is having a certain type of lifestyle and actually wants to take that jump into having their own company and actually working online remotely, or starting to believing that they can give back to something. And that is maybe one of the tracks. If you would give 3 advices to somebody out there who is about to start their own company, or maybe are thinking about taking that jump, or maybe now is doubting why they ever did it, what would be 3 advices from you
to somebody who's aspiring to be an entrepreneur?
Yeah, inspiring, thinking about it, dreaming about it, maybe.
Don't do it. that's my first advice. Don't do it. Second of all, don't listen to anybody. Third would be, if you are crazy enough to do it, don't try. Do it. And do it full out. And don't believe that you can buy a course that says 3 steps bullshit program to take you to financial success, because that doesn't work. You are not an entrepreneur just because you have started your own company. This is a lifestyle, and it takes a life to do it. Literally. Like I've been doing this for since I was 21. I've been on this entrepreneurial trip since I was 21. I'm 28, becoming 29 this year, and this is the first year I'm like, wow. Okay, so I'm actually doing this.
7 years into it.
And to go back to my first tip, which was don't listen to anyone, or that was my second tip. That was obviously correlated to my first tip. But when I say don't listen to anybody, I also want to make a big parenthesis that says don't believe you can do this alone. Because if you really believe you can do this alone, you would have done it already. So those are the 3 ones. Don't do it. Don't listen to anybody. But don't think you can do this alone. And if you do it, stop trying and do it. Because you gotta understand what an obsession this is. This is such an obsession. This is nothing about what I like to do, what I feel like doing, or when I say I mean anybody, feel like doing that it's easy to do. It's extremely hard. You gotta work a lot of hours, and you're gonna miss out on a lot of shit. I don't know last time I went to my brother's birthday, son of one of my siblings' birthdays, or my mother's. And I don't say that with pride, but it's the fact. With that being said, it's absolutely fucking fantastic. Like, I wouldn't change this for anything. I just want that to be said.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Inspiring. And the second track that we've been listening to in this interview, I think, is the physical, the mental training. There's a lot of people out there who, as you said, don't think it can be for them, don't think it can help them, don't think they can mentally do that. What would be then your three advices to people out there that haven't taken your program, that maybe haven't tried it, maybe have never really worked out from home or been thinking about this? What would be your three advices for these people?
So if you are legit sitting at home, never done any type of training, never done any type of mental training. So like, we have one program that is the mental program, but then we have the training program, which is a 30-day training program, day by day, train along videos. It costs 99 cents at the moment. If this comes out later, it's going to be €9. And if you are sitting at home thinking that, wow, this is not for me, then I'm making it for people who are sitting home just like you, who are thinking it's not for me. So you are the ideal client. Like, you are the person I'm doing it for. If not, I would call it 30 days of super hardcore training. But this is a 30 days home training, no equipment needed, for everybody. So if you don't think this is for you, I suggest you invest 99 cents in yourself and you do it. And stop coming up with excuses. And if you still feel that, you know what, this is not for me, give me a call. We'll talk to somebody in my team here. We have a coaching call list. You can jump on a call together with me or some of my teams. We answer all of the calls, and let's talk. Let's talk. If Aldiana, or let's take somebody else. If Klaus, who has heart problem, who hasn't been able to walk in the whole 2019 because of his heart issues, if he could finish this boot camp, you can finish this boot camp. So that's
excuses.
It's not even. There's not even excuses. It's like, I'm going to be honest. Like, I'm not a big fan of that saying, like, no excuses, because sometimes you have excuses. If you are sick at home, you shouldn't be training. That's your excuse. Like, you shouldn't be training. But stop finding excuses. Like, people are so fast to find excuses. It's like, no, I can't do that because I just got a baby. Like, I have no idea how it is to have a baby, but I know there's 3 single dads who are doing this boot camp. So, I mean, if they could do it, why can't you? No, I can't do it because I have high metabolism. I mean, we have another guy there who has an actual metabolism problem. Like, he has a clinical problem, but he's still doing the boot camp. I mean, there's so many people that are doing it. So there is no longer if you find an excuse, is that inner voice that we're talking about. So if you are sitting at home feeling like, wow, I can't commit to 30 days because blah, 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 then you should take my other program, which is the 4-week dance mental discipline program, because you need to work on your mental game. Like, that's my honest truth to you.
And here I am swearing that I'm going to sign up today for both of them as well. So where can I sign up for me and for the other people?
You go on dancersbootcamponline.com to sign up for our challenge. And for the mental discipline program, you gotta talk to me personally first.
All
so
right.
Go on Sebastian Be Fit on Instagram, Sebastian_Be Fit on Instagram, or send an email to Sebastian@BeFitAndSensual.com.
All right. We're going to link that in the description down below. And yes, thank you so much for telling your story, sharing your story. I think this is incredible, not only for me to know you personally, but for a lot of people who don't know where you come from and don't know how you ended up where you are. So
Thank you.
Huge
Thank you for
respect.
enough respect. Thank you for doing this, T-zer. It's important. It's important, not because it's me, but because I think people need to hear more stories like this, and especially in the dance community, especially in our community, especially for kids or younger generation who are coming up and just thinking like, yeah, I'm just gonna be a battle dancer. They're like, no, 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 you won't. Do more. You can do better, brother. Be a battle dancer, but you can do more. Go
Exactly.
hard. Live once.
Exactly. And that is what we're doing it for. It's for next generation, knowing you can do multiple things with dancing. And yeah. So thank you so much for taking your time out, and hopefully see you virtually and see you live maybe in a few months.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
Yeah. All right. So thank you. Big out shout out to you and David, and take care. Yeah.
Take care. Ciao.